Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Currently, the bounties of the pirates of One Piece are increasing more and more, and the Straw Hats are currently one of the crews with the highest bounty total in the world. But there are also others that can compare with the Straw Hats and may even exceed their bounty level. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the crews with the highest bounties in the world of One Piece, and we're going to talk about the total bounty of the Straw Hats and other extremely powerful pirates. But before we get into this video of bounties and berries, if you're new to the channel, or even if you watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or your favorite with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, during the past, Goldie Roger was of course the most wanted pirate in the world, being the Pirate King. Now we don't know his crew's total bounty, but we do know that his bounty was at 5,564,800 berries, which means that his crew had to have had the highest bounty in the world of One Piece. Currently, the Straw Hat Pirates are a crew that have one of the highest total bounties in the world, having a total bounty of 8,816,001,000 berries. To break down the total, we'll start with Luffy, our captain, who of course has the highest bounty at 3 billion, followed by Zoro with 1.111 billion, Jinbei with 1.1 billion, Sanji with 1.032 billion, Robin with 930 million, Argod Usopp with 500 million, Frankie the Cyborg has a bounty of 394 million, Nami with a bounty of 366 million, Brook, our Soul King, with a bounty of 383 million, and finally Chopper with a 1,000 berry bounty. The Straw Hats also have many allies, which created the Straw Hat Grand Fleet during the end of the Dressrosa arc, and the total sum of each pirate in this fleet comes out to 1.564 billion berries. To name some of the more notable pirates in the Grand Fleet, we could start with the White Knight Cavendish, who has a bounty of 330 million. Now initially he had a bounty of 280, but after the fall of Don Quixote del Flamingo, he got his bounty increased. But one thing to consider is that although some of these members may have bounties at a certain level now that Luffy's become a Yonko, their association with him might actually make their bounties increase. Moving on to other members of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, we have Suleiman with a bounty of 67 million. Now we don't know much about his deeds or even his previous bounties, but it's likely that his bounty will increase after what the Straw Hats just did in Wano, and possibly because he may be assisting in conquering other territories. And speaking of conquering territories, let's talk about Bartolomeo, who holds a bounty of 200 million. Now his first bounty was given to him for being the captain of the Bardo Club, and his pirate career began after witnessing Luffy's actions all the way back in Logtown. Because of the amazing events that he saw, it brought him to the decision to become a pirate and follow in Luffy's footsteps, and also help him during his adventure to become the king of the pirates. And his first bounty ever was 150 million. After the events in Dressrosa, where he helped Luffy and the Straw Hats to take on the Doflamingo crew, his bounty was further increased to a 200 million berry bounty. But like I just said, his bounty may actually be even more, not just because Luffy just became a Yonko, but because Bartolomeo has conquered areas, and one in particular was formerly run by Shanks. So depending on how this kind of conflict unfolds that he's gonna have with Shanks, Bartolomeo might get more famous and therefore a larger bounty. From Bartolomeo, we then move on to Gambia, the missionary, who currently has a bounty of 67 million. Now he's an officer in the Bardo Club crew, which started in the East Blue, but then became a pirate crew after the captain was inspired by Luffy. Then we have Sai, who has a bounty of 210 million, and he's the leader of the Hoppo Marines. Now we don't know much about him, just like some of the other pirates mentioned earlier, but he did help Luffy defeat the Doflamingo pirates, which allowed him to become a member of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Another notable captain is of course Shinjao, or Don Shinjao, who currently has a bounty of 542 million. Now he's a former pirate and veteran of the New World, and in the past he had gone toe-to-toe with Monkey D. Garp, and he'd managed to survive a battle with him, but his head had been smashed and deformed by of course our very same Garp. But when he saw Luffy's determination in the battle in Dressrosa, he decided to retake up the arms and become a pirate again, so that he can join the Grand Fleet of the Straw Hats, and of course fight on behalf of Monkey D. Luffy, the boy who will be the future king of the pirates. And then we have Orlumbus, who has a bounty of 148 million. Now he, after all, is the admiral of the Great Yonta Maria fleet, and we don't know about his old bounties, but he does seem to have many pirates on his side, making it possible for the Straw Hat Grand Fleet to have many more powerful pirates at their beck and call. So if we add up the bounty of the main Straw Hats with the Grand Fleet, the total we come up with is 10,380,001,000 berries, being one of the biggest crews and also one of the largest total bounties in the world. So throughout the work of One Piece, we've been able to follow the Straw Hats and seen all of their great deeds and the things that earned them these bounties. But of course, it wasn't just the Straw Hats that managed to obtain a large bounty throughout their adventures. One great example of another organization that could give the Straw Hats a run for their money, of course, is our newly founded Cross Guild that is currently commanded by Buggy, but he's only the public face. It's really run by Mihawk and Crocodile, who all total have an 8.713 billion bounty, which with just 3 people is probably one of the more powerful crews today. But to break down the individual bounties, we'll start with Buggy the Clown, who has a bounty of 3.189 billion berries. Draco Mihawk, otherwise known as Hawkeye's Mihawk, has a bounty of 3.590 billion, and Crocodile, King of the Desert, has a bounty of 1.965 billion. But we've also seen a few of the key members of this Cross Guild company, and they also have some crew members that have been shown to be quite important so far, among them being Alvida, who has a current bounty of 5 million, and then Galdino, who has a bounty of 24 million. And as the Cross Guild gains notoriety throughout the world, there are several other pirates that could join up, but we don't know about the entire crew, so it's really difficult to calculate the exact amount of what the total for the Cross Guild would be. Moving on to one of our allied teams in the Wano arc, we've had the Hearts Pirates, which is another major group out there in the world. Now, we only know a few of the bounties, or really 2 of the major pirates of the crew, and these are Trafalgar D. Law, the Surgeon of Death, who has a bounty of 3 billion. The first bounty of Law's that we ever saw was 200 million, and he was recognized worldwide as one of the supernovas, pirates of this greatest or at least worst generation. And he was also recognized because he was a pirate that had gotten a very high bounty quite quickly. The second bump to Law's bounty came when he became a warlord, and it was during the 2-year time skip. His bounty was increased to 440 million, and at the time he became a warlord, his bounty was then frozen. During the Dressrosa arc, when Law teamed up with the Straw Hats, he got a new 500 million berry bounty for fighting alongside Luffy and helping to defeat the Don Quixote pirates and bringing down Doflamingo himself, resulting in his expulsion from the warlord system. And finally, the most recent bump to Law's bounty came when he and Kid brought down Big Mom together, making Law obtain a 3 billion berry bounty. Beppo, one of Law's crew, has a bounty of 500 berries, and like Chopper, he's considered a pet, so his bounty is not as high as that of a pirate, and like we see, like Chopper, has been disrespected because, let's be real, in the world of One Piece there's discrimination. Another ally during the Wano arc was of course Eustace Kid. When we look at his pirates, they have a total bounty of 3.2 billion berries. So the crew of the Hearts Pirates are pretty comparable to Kid's pirates. Starting of course with the captain, Eustace Kid. He had a bounty of 3 billion berries, being one of the pirates of the new generation with the highest bounty yet seen, along with Luffy and Law, who have basically the same bounty. The first bounty ever obtained by Kid was when he took the lives of many innocent citizens, together with his companion Killer, and this caused Kid to get a bounty of 315 million berries. His second bounty increase happened during the 2-year time skip. Now, it's never been exactly revealed what he did, but his bounty was increased to 470 million, along with the rest of his crew's bounties. And finally, his last bounty boost was obtained just like the rest of our other captains during the Wano arc, and after which he and Law had brought down Empress Big Mom, they all got the bounty of 3 billion berries. Eustace Kid's right-hand man, Killer, currently has a bounty of 200 million, and he's the only pirate of this crew that we really know their bounty about, and he might be the only one that really is with Kid the whole time. Killer's first known bounty was 162 million berries, given after he had joined Kid's crew and became his right-hand man, and of course, he's the one who's been integral to Kid accomplishing many of the things he's done around the world. His second bounty increase was given to him during the 2-year time skip, but like Kid, we don't know how he managed to increase his bounty. But all the while, his bounty was increased to 200 billion, and yet because of this Wano arc, we are likely to see his bounty increase all the more. Next, let's talk about one of the other Yonko crew, which is the Redhaired Pirates. Now, we don't know the total bounty of this crew because many still remain unknown to us, but those so far have a total of 4,142,900,000 berries. Starting with the captain of the crew, Red-Haired Shanks, he has a bounty of 4,400,000,000 48,900,000 berries. Now, it's currently unknown how Shanks exactly received this bounty. However, a lot of it is probably due to his actions as one of the 4 emperors, as well as being a former member of the Roger Pirates, so this couldn't go without being noticed. We also know about the bounty of a newbie crew member that is named Rockstar. His bounty was most likely been increased since joining the Redhaired crew. However, when he was introduced, he had a bounty of 94 million. As for Ben Beckman, Lucky Roo, Yasopp, and a lot of the other pirates that we've seen, we don't actually know about their bounties. So these still remain a great mystery, but we have to know that individuals like Beckman and Roo and Yasopp have to have incredibly high bounties, so this would boost the overall total quite a bit and may even go well beyond the Straw Hats easily. Another Yonko crew that has high bounties would of course be Blackbeard's pirates, but we only know their old bounties, so that total would be 2,497,800,000 berries. And so we haven't seen the bounties updated to know what they are going to be now that they're a Yonko crew. Starting the captain of this crew, of course, Captain Marshall D. Teach has a current bounty of 2,247,600,000 berries, earned for his infamous acts such as becoming a warlord, turning Ace over to the Marines, taking Whitebeard's life and then stealing his devil fruit power, next defeating Whitebeard's crew, among all kinds of other things that he's done throughout his life. A few other notable bounties in his crew are Jesus Burgess, who has a bounty of 20 million, Van Augur, who has a bounty of 64 million, Lafitte, who has a bounty of 42,200,000 berries, Doc Q, who has a bounty of 72 million, and Peachbeard, who has a bounty of 52 million. But there are other notable members of the crew who we have no idea about their bounties, and these would include Shiryu, Avalo Pizarro, Katarina Devon, San Juan Wolf, Vasco Shot, and others. But we would expect that as we move forward in our chapters, we could expect the bounties of Teach's pirates to be updated and revealed, just as we saw with the members of the Cross Guild. Well, there you have it, my friends. Those are the bounties of some of the most powerful pirate crews right now in the world of One Piece. And also, as we can see, not all of them are complete or even updated or known. So this means that in this final saga, we're going to have amazing levels of bounties revealed to us, allowing us to know the complete bounties of all the important pirate crews in the world of One Piece. But with all that said, we'd love to know what you think about it now. What do you think some of the bounties might be of these unknown people? For instance, Lucky Roo, Vasco Shot, Shiryu of the Rain. There's so many notable people that we've seen on these crews that we don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we wrap up today's video, I want to thank you all so much for watching the video all the way up to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like or hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Can't wait to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.